Welcome in. I want to say first, before we get into today's video, thank you so much for my very first subscribers. I really appreciate the support and encouragement. Now, I also need to tell you something that I did that was a really embarrassing the last few weeks. So I tried to make money doing art in a different way. I tried live selling on Poshmark and it was an absolute disaster. I watched videos on YouTube. Keep in mind, I'm very tech challenged, so there was like a learning curve. First of all, I couldn't figure out many things, so there was those technical errors on my end. And I also have a fear of public speaking, so I was like, I want to get past my fear. I want to overcome this. The second show, I did much better as far as like my nerves and feeling like I knew like I could do things. But then I ran into a second technical glitch that I wasn't able to overcome. But the first one, the first show, I was so nervous. And then once I got on, I had the camera facing me, which I think I felt like I needed to do that. So it's like, hello, like this is me. So you know who's talking. But then I like went right into panic mode. I was just like, I started sweating. I couldn't stop sweating for no other reason than just I was so nervous. And so then I quickly turned the camera onto like my hands and I started showing things like the video I had planned, or I shouldn't say video, but like the items I had planned, I was going to show them on the table. So I figured that could kind of help, and I was gonna do it all about art. Oh yes, I did my junk journal flip through on their live, and then I was going to sell, I tried to auction off craft lots. And so yeah, that I did 2 live shows. I made 0 sales. And I wasted probably, I don't know how many hours worth of work to pull all those items and to kind of like figure out what am I going to say. Like it was just a lot. And I don't know, like I'm not giving up on the live shows, but I want to say that took a lot of my time for the past, I want to say like 3 weeks. Has anybody else done lives like that is has a fear of public speaking? Because it feels a lot like public speaking, like I'm in speech class. And when I was in speech class in high school, I did everything to avoid like getting up and talking. And then when I had to get up and talk again, I started sweating. I forgot everything I was supposed to say. And so this reminded me a lot of that. But I do think it's something I need to work on and try to get over. But just lives freak me out. And for that reason, I'm going to keep trying them, but I'm going to try like different things. And I don't actually consider it a fail really, because I felt confident when I overcame that. And then I also think it could be a really cool way to connect with my customers on Poshmark in a more like intimate level. And I don't want to do the traditional lives where I'm just auctioning off stuff. I'm just like, look, this is for what I have for sale. I just want to do something different. And so I want to do art on there. I want to find a way to incorporate art, whether I'm like doing art lots or craft lots or I'm demonstrating things. So I have to kind of keep practicing. But I'm sorry, this was kind of like taking up a lot of time right now. Let's get into today. And today I'm focusing on something I like to do, that I'm confident I can do. And that is we're going to upcycle some winter accessories. So let me show you what I'm working with. Okay, so let me show you my starting materials. We're going to make something from my little knit pieces I have that I'm not using. Here's some cashmere I cut from a sweater. I cut the salvageable parts of the sweater that didn't have holes or any damage or stains. Cashmere I find a lot at estates, but I haven't been able to find a use like a way to repurpose it. And I would like to also make hats with some of it, but today we're going to take this pot holder. More than likely I'm going to detach this flower and stem. I think it would be interesting to add that onto this. This is going to be the top element, and then I'm going to sew it's somewhat like this, and then this is going to be a headband, and it's going to be really nice because this really nice soft cashmere is what's going to be against your skin, and then it'll have these nice details. Then I need to find what do I want to weave through here. I'll take this to the sewing machine and I will come back and show you where we're at with this. So I've decided to do this hat. If you can see, it's this sort of soft pink Angora bucket hat, and I'm looking at different trims trying to see what could go with this, because I want to embellish it with a sort of hat band, and then I want to add this to it, which I hand stamped, and I really like. Oh, it won't focus. I really like how this came out, the little cherubs. So I want this to go on the front of the hat and then sew a decorative sort of band around it. So I think I'm going to do this one, this, like that. So I will take it to my sewing machine. Now I'm just realizing I wish I don't know. I wish I didn't do this right in the center, but I don't know if there was another way to do it. So let's get creative with this. Find a way to make this not look so wonky. I think ironing it might help. Now I have the fun task of dismantling this, taking this off. So I find crochet pieces to be very satisfying to work with because a lot of times you can very visibly see like where it's attached. So I find myself taking off the flowers of these crochet pieces like a lot and repurposing them in other projects. I find these sort of things at estate sales really pretty often. So it's more or less just deciding what I'm willing to pay for each one, and I also take into consideration that if I'm going to spend the extra time to like, you know, work on it, take it apart, sew it on something else, like I try to have a plan for the pieces I bring back. And I didn't always, but that's how I ended up. You see my garage, that's how it's ended up so overfilled. So that's something I've changed about how I shop. Now I only shop about 3 days in the entire month, and currently right now I'm actually on a no buy, so I'm not buying anything as long as I can stay in control of myself, stay disciplined. I'm planning to not buy anything all the way through till the end of December, and then I will start again in January. In the meantime, I'm going to try to work through things like this that have just been sitting around, and they'd be perfectly fine on projects, but I just have been too busy acquiring new things to pay attention to what I already have. So, see, I already like that in the center, so I think we can kind of artfully cover up this seam. And I don't know if we need this and this, or if I'm going to just go with this and keep it more simple. So I will decide and kind of come back and show you. Okay, so here is the finished hat. I love that it has this Angora, so this natural texture, and I decided to change the trim to this pink velvet with a scroll detailing because it's subtle, yet I feel like it was a little more complimentary to the pink hat. And then the white dangling lace with the cherubs. I love how this came out. There's an idea how you can use a stamp and denim in a sort of crafty sort of way. I forgot I want to get the stem off. I'll do this off camera, and then the other thing I'll do off camera because it's kind of a boring thing though, and you'll get the ideas. I'm just going to fold this under. These knit fabrics don't fray, but I did cut the seam here, so I want to fold it under and then do a stitch around just to give it that finished look on the outside. Okay, I do want to make a point to show you this. So as this lays flat, you see this is sort of what it looks like. It has this sort of, there's really no other way to say, but kind of this wonky look. And when you're sewing, like, don't let this stuff get to you, because when I was new at sewing or upcycling, really, I would just get so discouraged when stuff like that happens. But now I don't let it bother me. I just remember that, like, it's a slow thing, like making things from scratch, no matter how simple it may seem, a simple cashmere headband. It takes planning and it takes practice, and when things don't go just right, I try to not let it like really get to me, because there's usually, like, this is when I'm going to step away from it for tonight, and I'm betting in the morning I'm going to be fresh and a solution will come to mind, like that I will be able to use this still. I don't know how now, but I just wanted to share that because like back when I started, I would just throw this away and be so angry, like, oh, I can't sew. But no, it's like, it's all within my control. I can get creative and I can find a way to make this work. Like I said, add the flour. And then with this, I might be, my hands are really dry. I might be able to sort of add a trim or something around here. I don't know. So we'll see. Okay, I just had this on my mannequin. I don't know why I didn't take a video, but let me show you it up close, and then I'll insert some pictures of my mannequin wearing it. So I have that cashmere ultra soft lining, which I love because that's going to be what's against the person, whoever's wearing it, right against their skin, that nice soft cashmere, which is going to be really warm and cuddly and cozy for the winter, which I just love that. And then I used, which you saw, this vintage sort of scalloped knit design for the front, and I really like that. Then for contrast, I ended up lacing through one of my scalloped black, I just call it like a velvety sort of trim, and then through that I laced this vintage lace, and I just left a little through there. I originally was going to put the flower, let me show you 1 second. So originally I was going to add this flower, but I think that just overdoes it, and then I have the little stem too. So I'm going to use these for a future project and leave this more, I just think this is more timeless. And the really back detail, I did like this sort of intentionally sort of almost distressed looking lace. Like I just kind of wrapped it around, and then I sewed it in place so it would stay, and then I knotted it right here in the middle. And yeah, that's how this came out. So I'm actually really proud of this one. I think it came out really good. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.